Water. All right, just left Blue Mountain Shelter, and it's about 7:30 in the morning. It rained off and on all night. It was really windy, and yeah, I ended up just staying in the shelter last night. Met a few people down there, so I had some good company, and yeah, sacked out early, got up early, and got on trail. It's definitely chilly and rainy, windy this morning. Got the MLD rain mitts and the light heart gear rain jacket working really well this morning. So kind of just keeping my phone in a Ziploc bag, and yeah, hopefully if it clears up here in a little bit, I'll be able to shoot some. But as of right now, I'm just gonna pay attention to footing and get on down the trail. One of the guys from last night, Tom, he is planning to camp at, I think, Deep Gap tonight, which is like 15 and a half miles. So I may go there for tonight, depending on the weather, how I feel, I don't know. No real plan, just know that I want to make it to Bly Gap by Tuesday, I guess. So, all right, I'm still coming down off of Blue Mountain into Unicoi Gap, a couple miles in here, and this is definitely treacherous. Lots of slipping. There has just been like rocks, one after the other, all the way down, and definitely slows you down quite a bit. Beautiful out this morning. Yeah, but the whole way down has just been rocks. I mean, it goes straight up right there, and yeah, definitely a lot harder going down Blue Mountain than going up. Yesterday there was quite a big section of just kind of rock hopping, but not a lot of elevation gain. But when you mix the rocks with the descent, then definitely it gets to a different level of challenging. So anyway, almost into Unicoi Gap. You can see across over there. I think the gap is right in between this mountain and the next, which, if I remember right, is called Rocky Mountain, or Rock Top, something like that. Anyway, should be able to stop and get a little bit better water source in between here and there, and get filled up. So, all right, just made it into Unicoi Gap, and looks like low gap 9.6 past that yesterday, and Hogpins where we started, so 14. Looks like the road, the trail kind of switchbacks across the road here and heads straight up the next mountain. So yeah, doing well this morning, feeling pretty good. Already a couple miles in. It's like 10 after 8. Just passed a southbound through hiker. She was heading up Blue Mountain, and looks like getting close to the end of her journey. So very pleasant, seemed very nice. So yeah, I'll check back in, probably getting water here soon. All right, coming up out of Unicoi Gap. Looks like it just goes straight up. Rocky Mountain Trail. It's a good little climb. It's like a little over 1,000 feet, I think, but pretty quick. Definitely doesn't really flatten out, just straight up. First two supposed to be little water sources. They were listed as unreliable or seasonal on gut hooks. I thought there might be something there with the rain we got last night, but yeah, definitely completely dry. So on to the next one. Still heading up. This is the lookout for Rocky Mountain. Not much to see today. Yeah, about 4 miles in, a little over 4 miles in, and haven't found a decent water source yet. I think there's another one that is listed to be a couple miles down here. I've got one bottle of water left, so should be plenty to make it to that next water source. It's definitely cool. Had to lose the rain jacket, but it's pretty cool out, so not having to just slam water really fast anyways, so that's all right. Yeah, so we have a descent and then up Trey Mountain next, so yeah, doing pretty good. All right, I think this is Indian Grave Gap coming up. Let's see what else we've got. Unicoi 2.7, so I'm like 5 miles in for the day, a little over maybe, five and a quarter. Yeah, it was a little bit more of a descent than I thought it would be, I guess. Yeah, it took a little while. Pretty easy, at least for the last bit of it, like almost steps, just the rocks, good placing or good positioning on all the rocks and everything, so a little bit easier walking. All right, maybe this is Trey Mountain Road. I could be wrong on that. I'll check gut hooks before I cross here. All right, I believe this is the Cheese Factory campsite, site of, if I remember right, an old dairy farm, something like that. Of course, gone a long time ago, but it's a pretty interesting area. There's a lot of open space here. Definitely fit a bunch of tents. It's really neat looking. Got a little sign coming up. See what that says. Water. So that must be the water source that it shows on the map. And continue heading up Trey Mountain. All right. It's 10:45 in the morning, and this is the summit of Trey Mountain. So, unfortunately, not much to see, but just kind of cool rocks poking out here, and yeah, that's it. Sitting in a cloud. Trey Mountain was a tough one. Had a good bit of switchbacks. At certain points they were really generous with the switchbacks, where it almost flattened out, and then at other points it's pretty much straight up. So definitely challenging. So yeah, time to get down off of here. My thought is to stop somewhere for lunch around noon and actually sit down for a little bit. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I was hoping to be 10 miles in by lunchtime, so well on our way. I think we're at like 7.7 or something. So just a couple more, 2.5 miles or so, and I'll be ready to stop for lunch. And if I keep the same pace, about 2.5 miles an hour, yeah, should be right on time. So yeah, I'll see you then. 12 o'clock, and I am about a quarter mile from something called the Swag of the Blue Ridge, I believe. It's like a small gap in between Trey Mountain and whatever's next. I can't remember what the name of that is, but yeah, so I figure another quarter mile, I'll run up there and have lunch real quick, relax a little bit. I'm further ahead of schedule than I planned on being, just as far as the like 10 miles before lunch thing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop up here and have a bite to eat, maybe just rest the legs a little bit, and we'll see where the rest of the day takes us. Kelly Knob, absolutely the hardest climb. I'd like to say probably the hardest in Georgia. Straight up, yeah, pretty good elevation gain the entire time, and it's like 1 mile long, and yeah, pretty tough. So I'm a little less than a mile from Deep Gap Shelter, which was like the first place I had considered staying tonight. I want to say it's like 2:30. Yeah, give or take a little bit, maybe 2:40. So I've still got some hours of daylight. So I think I might push on and see what's up next. I don't know. I may just stop at the bottom of this Kelly Knob. I'm on the descent now, but may just stop at the bottom of this and see kind of what's ahead, and maybe make a decision. Go on a couple more hours or something. Maybe another 5 or 6 miles. So yeah. All right, made it to Deep Gap, and yeah, it's up that little side trail right there. I was wrong on the time earlier. I think I called it like 2:30. It was 1:50. So yeah, still got quite a bit of time with daylight. So I'm gonna keep on keeping on, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna get up to, probably plan on getting up to like Dick's Creek Gap. It's another 3.5 or 4 miles, and we'll see where we are. So yeah, it says there's a reliable water source, I think, before then. So I'll probably look to fill up, and then maybe around Deep Gap, maybe just a little after that, I'll look to start thinking about camp. So yeah, probably about another four maybe or so miles today. Should be right at like 15.5 right now, so probably end up right around 20 and make for a shorter day going into the border tomorrow. So yeah. All right, looks like we're coming into Dick's Creek Gap, and should be a big parking lot here, and supposed to be water somewhere. Not quite sure. There's a lot of reports of it being like just the other side of the road. Yeah, we'll have to get over there and find out. Yeah. Some jugs of water. Okay. Some nice picnic area up there and over there. So day two's in the books, and it was a pretty good one. I got a little over 21 miles in today. Ended up at Cowart Gap, I think is what it's called. Mile 71.2, 71.1, somewhere right in there. It's not really like a campsite on gut hooks, but when you look at gut hooks, there was a number of people that said how good of a campsite it was. So yeah, that's how I ended up here. And I've got the pocket tarp pitched up behind me, and I'm warming up some dinner. I've got my bear line up in the tree over there, and yeah, I'm trying out my clothes and getting ready to have some dinner. So I already talked to the shuttle driver. He is going to meet me at Blue Ridge Gap tomorrow at 12:30, which gives me entirely too much time to hike 10 miles. So tomorrow will be a slow pace, just nice and easy, and get there in time for the shuttle. So you can see the net in there. I don't have it pulled tight on this side yet, so that's why it looks a little wavy, but once I pull out the other tie out on the side over here, then it tightens the net up inside there, and it came out pretty good. So far I'm happy with it. Like I said, not really any bugs out here this week, but yeah, definitely be a good test run for what it's going to do in the spring. So tomorrow morning, yeah, up and at 'em and roll out of here. I don't know. I got out of camp at like 7 o'clock this morning, so it's probably a little too early for tomorrow with the mileage I have to do. So probably, yeah, take it easy. Yeah, so about to enjoy some dinner, have spaghetti tonight, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.